Parkersburg on a 9-hole course, and we thought it was the biggest thing we were ever taking on. And all of a sudden I get a phone call from Gary Lynch saying, hey, we're going to come, we're going to cook all your food. And I'm, well, how much is that going to cost? He goes, no, you're not going to pay us for this. And I can tell you what that meant to me just starting out, and the more I got to know not just Gary, but his entire family. I've never met more giving people. But our foundation would not be where it is. We've really been able to take off and do things, but I can tell you, the Ed Thomas Family Foundation is 100% a direct reflection of the willingness to give and the willingness to buy into something else. And Gary's never once said, hey, we want Lynch's logo on here, we want this about this. And the way this man leads with the way the entire organization, I can't say enough for the respect and the selflessness that gets exemplified by these people each and every year, and each and every opportunity, each person that they choose to help, to take on, and that's because the people like you are willing to come. You understand what I'm talking about, or we wouldn't all be here. We wouldn't have, what was it, 196 golfers, Gary?
Yeah, 192.
192 golfers would not be here if we didn't understand what they do. And our goal is foundation to create the next generation of Coach Thomases, guys like my dad. We had our first Ed Thomas Legacy Clinic this year in Parkersburg for coaches, high school coaches, middle school coaches, little league coaches of all sports, and our clinic was nothing on X's and O's. It was all on character, on leadership, on the impact that coaches should have on young people. And I can tell you we charge $30 only, didn't make any money off it, and we could do that because of people like Gary Lynch and the Lynch Family Foundation. I grew up seeing the example of a father first who also impacts and influences young men as a coach. And there's not just young men, it's also the young women, that importance of our new coaches as they come up, where it's truly not about, as my dad so often said, it's not about winning games, it's about people being better when they're done being in your program.
To jump forward to how I got involved with Gary and the Lynch family, we had a meeting with Jason and Aaron back in the spring about being a beneficiary for their event, and that they're going to give me the opportunity to speak and just tell me a little bit about it, and it really made me excited and for the opportunity. It was great getting to know Porky. If you don't know who that is, it's Gary Lynch. It was great getting to talk to him for the whole 2 minutes that Jason wasn't talking. Then they gave me the confidence and they encouraged me to do my own fundraiser. They told me, hey, if you want to do a fundraiser of your own, we'll help you out. Just let us know, you plan it, whatever cause you want, and we'll help you. And it really got me to think, I do want to do something. Through my experience, there's so many people who have had far less opportunities I have, and my success and my recovery is so prolific and well known because no one else has had the same opportunities I have. There's people out there with the same determination as I have, but I've been fortunate enough where I've gotten the resources to do so, and there's so many people who don't. And that's where I started the SciCan Foundation. We started back in August. We've raised over $100,000. We've given out 4 grants that are affecting over 200 families in the state of Iowa. The biggest grant given here in Decorah at Winneshiek Medical Center that people from all across Northeast Iowa can use for free. That is from a fact of what Gary and the Lynch family and the foundation has done for me. Just like Aaron said, how his foundation is a reflection of what the Lynch family has done for him. Well, my foundation is a reflection of what they've done for me.
Grow like a normal child. She looks proportionally, but when she's around other kids, she's like a foot shorter than she should be. So I felt so bad for her. My parents took us to Disney, and every ride we'd come to, you come to those signs where it's like you have to be at least this tall. She'd run over and she'd just stretch, and it's like, I'm sorry, baby girl, I'm sorry. Can't go on this ride again. And so I'm just excited that she's gonna be able to go on rides. This time around. So Man, thank you guys so much. This is awesome. And praise God. Thank you so much, all of you. And yeah, thank you.
Know when it was. I think maybe it was a song. Maybe I read it somewhere. But it said, tip if you can. And I'm not talking about sitting down at a restaurant table and thinking whether I'm going to give $10 or $15 or 18% or 15%. I'm thinking about tip if you can. And 1995 was the first year that I met Gary. Dan McCarney had just got the job at Iowa State. We were putting on our first coaches clinic, and Gary and his crew were down there cooking for us. And it's easy to see when you go to certain organizations around certain people why they're successful, usually pretty quick. There was a way about them, there was an organization about them, there was a perfection about them in their work and in their product, and without even knowing him, there was no question. This was a successful man. This was a guy who got it. I've been around the Lynch Family Foundation, and he's been around us. I can't even begin to tell you how many times, not just cooking, but giving and giving and giving. And it's people like that, whether it was 1995 or since I've been back and been at events like this, that make that butterfly effect, that make that huge impression on you, that create things, stir something in you, cause you to do something. Aaron spoke, and Aaron tried to get me for a couple years around the same time. It was around our anniversary and baseball games and things like that. Then I finally got a chance to speak at the Ed Thomas Family Foundation event. I'm a coach's son, so speaking at that event was important to me. When I could get there, when it was right, it was important to me, and I think the people that were there that night certainly understand that. And Lucas, I'm not a man. I'm a baby. I'm a crier, and I can do it easy because it's who I am, and I'm not afraid of that. So I speak at that event, and whether it's Aaron or whomever, countless times since then, you know, people say, "Hey, I heard you here," and then those people hear you there, and then you get the opportunity to speak at another event. Or somebody like Gary or somebody like Aaron sets it up, and you go to speak at the Deb and Jeff Hansen Foundation event and speak about this and that, and you see people that are true humanitarians doing things for others without any concern for themselves, other than sitting around a table and streaming a little tear down with a heartfelt, choked-back smile on their face because the joy they just brought to somebody else. Tip if you can.